sign on the top.
I said that once, right? That this is Submarine, two hours stuck together. Crumbs, did it trigger some comments? I've never said it. Yeah, I've never done a video about it again.
But it was only what do they call it? A midget class, X class sub. So it's 35th
Like
scale, but it's not very big.
Well, I did a video on the Airfix. They've only ever released, well, to my knowledge, one Submarine, and it was the Trident ones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they make it in 3 parts, which is quite, I thought it'd be 2 hours stuck together, but it was in 3 parts. And I asked the question, I didn't think of it at the time. The reason they've done it was so that people who want to build a diorama, all they have to do is join the 2 halves at the top together, leave the middle section out, and just float that on top of your diorama water.
Yeah.
Excellent. They thought outside the box on that one. It's a shame they've not released it again. Well, I've not seen it released.
There's only one Submarine in service.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with a Submarine, the challenge is the painting and weathering, because how do you make black look interesting? But I've done it. It looks all right.
Yeah, because they're not actually painted black, are they? There's like a tile effect, isn't it? And like a rubber tile.
It's rubber coated, yeah.
It's I didn't paint it black. I didn't paint it.
Fair enough. So we've got quite a full house tonight. We've got 9 in. I think there's room for 2 more if they want to. I've put some invites out, of course. But tonight I thought we'd just talk really and have a little proper debate about where is Revell at? Because if you've been hiding under a rock, we've had, I think, one of the biggest releases of kits from a manufacturer I can think of. I know we're going to talk about Revell as a company, but if you go on ScaleMates and you look up 2024 releases, and that includes new tooling, kits that are new decals included where they put them in a model set which comes with paint, glue, and brushes, change parts, etc. You're looking at 92 iterations of kits. Now, are Revell going big to go home, or do you think this is a bad move from them? Should they have invested the monies into creating all these different, boxes of kits, to creating newer tooling, and also, by the thing, going back, none of it seems to be Matchbox toolings. This all seems to be stuff they've done in the 90s, 2000s. Just quickly looking on ScaleMates, I may be wrong. Couple of ICM reboxings from ICM of last year, but I'm going to throw it out there to the chat and to the panel. And I think we got quite a few. We've got 133 watching anyway, so plenty to talk about. And I'm just going to throw it out there to whoever wants to jump on first. Is this a brave big move from Revell to say that we make a statement that we're going to release a lot of stuff this year and try and get back some of the not negativity, but the fact that they've been looked upon as being quite stale in the last 5 years, sort of thing. Who wants to start us off on that one? I'll point to somebody if you like. I'll tell you what. Let's go to Lexi. Actually, Lexi, what's your thoughts on Revell and this massive launch this week?
I love how I'm literally sat here doing my makeup, thinking, "Please don't come to me. Please don't come to me."
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Well, you're the one that wasn't. You're the one that's not in camera. So I just thought, wow, you must be doing something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you try and hide from the teacher, like, don't pick me, I don't know the answer.
But you do like Revell though, don't you, or Revell?
I mean, like is a strong word. I think I'm just like less opposed to them, I guess, than most people are. Most people are like very strongly like they're a bit shit. They release just nothing but read boxes, which, true. And also like they are very, very bad at letting people know what they're actually buying, which consumer transparency is really important. But I don't know. I feel less bothered by them or less triggered than like I guess a lot of people are towards them. I think I don't know. I don't really know what my opinion on this is. Like, there's a lot of very interesting releases they're doing on it. They are trying to like shift from their stand, at least at Telford. It's very much a shift towards unifying sort of the toy and model market, which like other manufacturers have done, but not to the same scale as Revell. So I think they're doing a smart move, but I don't really feel like I have any particular opinion towards it. I think it looks like a really solid lot of releases. I think they've just tried to really spread what they're doing and trying to appeal to all sectors, which is either going to like work really well, or it'll just mean there's a lot of discount stuff next year.
Okay, that's fair play. I could take a lot of that on board. Yeah, discount stuff. Yeah, I think they, as I said, I'm just going down through. I'll put the screen up in a minute from Scalemates, but they seem to have doubled up on a lot into just the model kit or into the model set. I do know of a handful of scale modelers who will only buy kits that come with the paints, if you know what I mean. Because all the paints that they need are there in the box. They don't have to go worrying about what other paints they need. But Alex, you own a shop who has a good relationship with Revell.
Yep.
Would you be buying the majority of these kits to stock in your shop, or would you feel that they've missed a trick?
So it's I'm going to quote an old favourite football phrase. This is a bit of a release of two halves.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, I mean, there aren't 90 odd releases if you actually look at it. It's a big release still. If you look through the catalogue, and you do have to be, and I think this is the case with Revell, right? It's caveat emptor. It's like you really have to be careful about what you're buying from them. And the catalogue demonstrates that, because in the catalogue, you actually have quite a lot of entries with new tool or new parts that are not 2024 releases. And I'll give you an example. One is the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter, right? Which was new, out in the catalogue last year, was released in 2023 at the end. But it's got new tool on it. What it doesn't have is new as well. So if you look at all the new catalogue things, the things that are new in the catalogue this year have new.
Yeah.
And if they've also got new tool, that means they are a new tool for this year. If they've just got new tool, it means it's a recent tool. So it's not clear. I agree with Lexi completely on the lack of clarity with Revell, even for a supplier. They don't tell us as retail outlets what is actually new and what isn't. I said this before. I've been through the supplier list with Scalemates to see what the origin of each of those kits is. And there's about a third of the stock list that I just wouldn't even touch.
Right.
Having said that, if you actually look at what they're doing, I mean, they've got 11 new tools out this year, and they're a really broad range. You've got the Lamborghini, I don't know how to say it, the Revell, don't know. You've got a C8 Corvette Coupe, you've got the Submarine and the Gloucester Meteor, which were delayed from last year. You've got a brand new F-35A, which I don't think anybody saw coming.
No, that was a big one, yeah.
Yeah, you got the speeder bike in 112, which I think will be quite big. You've got a couple of Stranger Things releases. You've got a 1985 Chevrolet Blazer, which is completely new, and then they've tarted up the VW T3 bus again with the Surfer Boy stuff. And then you've got these World of Warcraft and a couple of Easy Click things, this Naruto Uzumaki. So it appeals to a huge range. I mean, there's basically something for everybody there. There's a ship, submarine, there's aircraft, there's cars, both old and new, there's space, there's TV franchises, there's games. So that's a lot. And then they've got 7 kits with new parts, which again have the same sort of broad things. And then there are, I think, 56 just reissues. One of them is Matchbox. It's the old Jag Panther.
Oh, is it Matchbox?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I did go through to check, and I didn't see one with.
That's the only one. Yeah,
that's the only one.
So it's it's a bit of a mixed bag. You've got some really good stuff there. I mean, it's the Revell story all over, isn't it? It's like you've got some good stuff, and some of those reissues are really nice. You've got the Blom & Voss BV222 from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Really nice kit. The Arado ARE 555, Luftwaffe 46 one, the Arado AR 240. Those are all really nice kits. And usually Revell pricing on reissues isn't that bad. So, but it's just if you're a new modeler, you've got no idea how old some of these things are, right? So it is the caveat emptor. Go to Scalemates, check it out. But overall, I think this is a big year for Revell. If they pull off all of the stuff that they actually have announced, it'll look really good for them, I think.
Just to comment on the back of what you just said, that's one thing I actually forgot to say. Is like the annihilation of like secondhand markup is something that I do like Revell for, because like you just said with the Blomvoss BV222, I actually looked at this knowing I'll probably never buy it, build it, but like still want to buy it because in my head I'm like, I'd make that. I love seeing that in War Thunder. I'll make that. But it's like it goes anywhere from like 60 to 90 quid. And looking at pre-orders, won't mention where it is right now, but pre-orders for that is like £45.
Yeah.
So like that is one thing I really like about Revell constantly re-releasing, is just, and the same way like Airfix has done with Vintage Classics and Heller have done with theirs to a lesser degree, like it helps destroy like the insane markups of like secondhand market, particularly from people who aren't even going to make them in the first place.
Yeah. John, being in America and Fenris, do you feel that they've gone for that market as well with the Stranger Things tide? Because I know it's big in this country, but it's massive in the States, isn't it?
It is. And that was actually where I was going to go with this. Is one thing that in Revell's credit is that we're seeing them actually reaching out. I don't know if they're reaching out, but we see them actually having some brand recognition with other IPs. Again, Stranger Things, maybe if it was last year, but I'm still counting it, Star Wars, Mandalorian, seeing them having these tie-ins outside of just military vehicles, I think is in their benefit. And I think, and I've said this for years, because again, being mainly a Bandai fanboy, I know I am the one that tends to build a lot of like Gundam, and they do a lot of different anime IPs. The fact that Revell now has, as you said, the Naruto one. I haven't actually looked at the list to be perfectly clear for their releases for 2024 yet. But the fact that they are doing this when you're just not seeing it with other ones, or you get the only people that seem to do it are your smaller manufacturers, people that like that's their whole brand, but they just don't have the brand recognition that Revell does. And I mean, like, how many times have we said that we would love to see Airfix come back with some of their older kits, but they just don't have the IP licenses for them anymore. The fact that Revell is getting those is absolutely a point in their favor. I think that you just don't see it as much from the other big name manufacturers.
It's positive for the hobby as a whole, though, right? As well, like, and I get that's what you're saying, because two points. Like, firstly, like these IPs are ones that I know I'm only in my 30s, but I'm going to feel so old saying this, like popular with the youngins. It's like bringing young people into the hobby is always really important, and how it keeps the hobby alive.
I mean, like Spitfire sell, because a lot of us, we know the Spitfire, we recognize it, but how much does an 11 and 12-year-olds go, oh, that's a Spitfire, yeah, let me go get that model. Over here with John Alec, how much do we see young kids going, oh, Mustangs, oh, Corsairs? You just don't. But the moment you say Naruto, the moment you say Stranger, these things that's what they recognize. Those are going to be the things that they're going to want to build. And the fact that we just don't see as many models going in those ranges, there's no reason why we just don't. Just model makers just don't make models of them. And I think that's something that I do think it's something that we're starting to see changing, and I think it is something that we're going to see change. And it's a point in Revell's favor that they are jumping in on it more than other companies are.
The reason I also brought it up was that, and it does, I still don't get the mentality, but the Stranger Things is 1/25th. Is it the Bronco? It's a Bronco, isn't it? And the other cars are 1/24th. So I'm assuming there's this legacy from America for 1/20. I know the measurement can be measured with gnats' penises. I know it's very subtle,
but it still is there.
Me personally, when I go looking for a 1/24th scale car, that's what I'll type in. So if I go looking for 1/24th, it won't come up in my searches because the one they're doing is a 1/25th.
Well, and what I imagine, at least in that regard, is you're right in that it's a legacy thing, but and again, not having looked at it, not having looked at what all went into it, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not because it's baseline using stuff that was from a 125, whatever the vehicle is. Initially it's rebranded as the Stranger Things version, so they've it's new tooled, it's new whatever, but they're using the old CAD designs from the 125th version. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're sticking at 125, is because they're relying on previous materials that were 125. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but I can see it being.
It's not even that clear cut, though, I don't think, because some of their new tools, as Moss said, they got 2 new tooled 124/25th scale vehicles, and one is 124th and one is 125th. Then if you look at some of their reissues, some of the old American ones are 124th and some of them are 125th. There's a Jeep which is 120. There is no seeming logic that I can see to it. It's really
my best guess is that we're talking about Revell, and this is one of those weird divisions between Revell US and Revell Germany that unless you do the deep dive, it's hard to see the split. That's a guess, but it makes sense to me that would be where the disconnect is, because Revell has been muddy in its history for a very long time.
Why they don't just draw a line under it and say, look, we'll just choose one, whoever more people turn up for the meeting on Monday morning, we'll vote 24th or 25th, and that'll be it,
Yeah, just do what they used to do with like 176 scale stuff. Just sell it as 172nd anyway. Just do that.
Yeah, that was a troubled time. They were trying to get in with when I think it was when Heller actually had the brand, wasn't it? And they wanted to make all the 176s into 172s, and they rebranded them as such. And then all of a sudden they went back to 176 because they realized that a lot of the trainers, or the train market, wanted those vehicles at 176, and they were put off thinking it's going to be too big for OO gauge. It's that mirror max, isn't it, between the two, and it's very difficult to it's definitely a choice. But as we were saying, I think that I don't with them going back to Matchbox, they can clearly have a point in their timeline of ownership. They can say anything pre Hornby Hobbies owned, we're going to call them Vintage Classic. Where with Revell, they've been bought and sold and bought others in, and other people have used their tools for so many years. I don't think there's a definitive timeline where they can say, we're going to call this Revell Classics, if you know what a Revell, and put like the Matchbox kits, or I don't see why they don't actually, instead of just doing like with their their 172nd tanks and stuff, why don't you just call it Matchbox Classics? Because they do own the rights to Matchbox, the name. I'm sure they do, unless they've sold it on. So why they don't just say we've got?
They might sold it on Moss.
Well, I can't see an ownership to it, and I've gone looking. Can anyone clarify that in the chat?
I think they still own Matchbox rights.
Yeah, because because remember that Matchbox, they sold the car parts on the die-cast side on, didn't they?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they didn't sell the Matchbox for the plastic side, because they can do that. I don't know. It's just a strange one. But Luke, going over to you, another F-35. Do we need another F-35? Because that means that every single one of the big teams have now got the F-35 in some guys in their range. Italy started it all back, didn't they? When they did a joint venture with Tamiya. And then all of a sudden now, over the last 4 years, every brand has got an F-35. Do we need another one?
Isn't it like the modern Spitfire?
It
is, isn't it?
Talieri have 2 more new tools coming out of it today. This year as well?
We need another whatever it is? For me personally, I probably wouldn't buy the Revell one, because I think there are better options. However, the better options are going to be way more expensive than the Revell 72nd one. It's an A. There's not many A's out there. It's you pay your money, you take your choice, don't you?
Yeah.
But I think as a whole, the fact that they've had this big release, and by anyone's standard, whether it's a retool, new decals, whatever it may be. There's been an investment by Revell to be able to do a release on this scale. I think that can only be a positive thing for the hobby, because if they weren't making any money, whether you like Revell or not, if they weren't making any money, or they certainly weren't projecting that they're going to make some money, then why invest in a release of this scale? And I think that can only be a positive. The more options we've got as modelers, the more options Alex has got as a retailer.
Yeah,
that can only be positive. And whether that be another F-35 or another Spitfire or another 109 or whatever it may be, the more options we've got as a community can only be positive, surely.
Yeah, I take that on board. Crazy Lock has just said it absolutely is needed. The Spitfire builders are dying off, and the model should be back shelved. No, I think that we are seeing this new realm now, aren't we? Where we're looking at more modern.
I think the only issue with more modern stuff, and it's a very personal view. No one can deny that the F-35 airframe is a phenomenal piece of engineering. It is. It's phenomenal. What that thing can do is phenomenal. From a modeling point of view, maybe not so much. Because if you say you've got the brand new 48 scale Tamiya F-35B, a phenomenal kit, a phenomenal aircraft. But for me as a modeler, I'd probably rather build a Corsair because I can do more to it. I can weather it. I can fade the panels. I can weather the engine. I can do all that stuff that you don't see on modern stealth aircraft. You just don't see it.
That's correct.
And
it's the same with armor. It's the same thing. Magic Factory have just announced they're releasing the brand new US infantry support vehicle. A phenomenal bit of technology. But from a modeling point of view, I'd probably rather build a Churchill or a Cromwell, because I can do more to it.
Yeah.
Well, and you just don't see the bright blues of the Corsair. You don't see the bright, the silvers and the reds of the Mustang. You just don't get that on modern aircraft. And I get why, and it makes sense, but it's not as fun to not be colorful, right?
But that's a very personal thing. If someone's got a massive interest in the F-35, then the more options that are out there, and someone's just in the chat, there are a bunch of A's out there. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, we probably do need another one because it gives the modeler the choice.
Sorry.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, sorry, I'm eating at the same time. With the sea of grey that there can be, that's definitely a real thing. But I would say the F-35 isn't making that problem worse because it's already there. When you go to most model shows, most F-16s, for example, this is being very generic to one thing. Obviously, it's not the same all the time, but most people will choose just a grey scheme. Despite the fact there are some amazing, ridiculous, over-the-top schemes for the F-16, or for many, many other aircraft, people will just choose very standard military camouflage. So to me, it's not really going to change that side of things that much. But I agree, some of the other models, I think
the difference is if you look at pre-fifth generation aircraft, they weather differently. An F-16, for example, look at a Hellenic F-16.
Yeah.
That thing is beaten to death. So from a modeler's point of view, if that's your thing, some people it isn't. They build them clean. But if that's your thing, your options with modern fifth generation fighters are quite limited because they just don't do that. They might have a bit of dirt and grime, but that's about it. Whereas an F-16 or an F-14, an SU-27, whatever it may be, it's a blank canvas, really, because these things and reference as well. Reference is a big thing. You know, there's so much reference out there for older jets and World War II props and all the rest of it. Well, yeah, there are pictures of the F-35, but not to the same level. You know, you won't get a walk around video of an F-35. That'd be quite rare, or it's going to show you very limited stuff because it's new, it's classified, and they're not going to share that stuff.
No.
But
the problem is, stealth.
I am going to build
coating has to be maintained, doesn't it? If the stealth coating gets degraded, the stealth goes. So they are pretty well maintained. You know, we've seen pictures of F-22s with it. These
are multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment. You know, they look after them. It's the same with armor. If you look at essentially a Challenger 3 as it is now, pretty much with all the upgrades on it, although it's not yet called that. That thing is looked after. That's a multi-million-pound piece of military hardware. Whereas you go back to a Challenger 1, your weathering options are vast because the paint was different. You know, in the first Gulf War, for example, the tanks went across to Saudi green, and the crews brush painted them sand yellow in the desert. So from a modeling point of view, you've got so much scope, whereas a Challenger coming out of the factory now isn't like that. You don't have that scope, you know, unless you're going to do it destroy.
Well, it's like all the technologies that have changed for heat treatments of materials and that. So paints actually stick better to adhere better to metals and whatever they're using. So they don't weather as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at a Zero. If you're building a Zero from World War II, a late variant, you know, that paint just fell off. But from a modeling point of view, you can do so much with that. Whereas you build a 5th generation fighter, you don't have that option, do you? But I'll still build the Tamir B variant, definitely, because it's a phenomenal thing. But I'll build it in beast mode, so it's not all shut up and stuff, you know.
I think the other thing that Moss just put the Russell comment on is that airframes now, and you know, tanks and stuff, their expected service life is measured in decades, whereas I mean, in World War II, the evolution of technology, I mean, I think at the beginning of the war was pretty much completely obsolete by halfway through, and almost always by the end of it. You know, the thing that started off, the Spitfire Mark 18 didn't look really anything like the Spitfire Mark 1. You know, whereas the 50s and 60s, you had this huge leap of jet technology and all these amazing prototypes and stuff. Then it started to get a bit more, you know, not mainstreamed, but you started to get like the F-16 and the F-15, which had longer service lives and still in service now, but they've gone various block upgrades through there. Whereas now the F-35, I mean, will probably be an F-35, and it'll have software updates. It'll have lots of, you know, glass stuff, which, you know, you won't really see any external differences at all.
Or special coatings.
30, 40 years.
And like the turnaround from that is that they're being developed to last for so many more years. The development time takes much longer as well. So you're just not getting the number of crafts being developed the way that we used to as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can I just jump in a little bit, because you know, we talk about the F-35 now. The biggest thing I've ever seen, or the debates that I've seen over this F-35, it's always been the ram tape, isn't it? Everybody's mocking and moaning on how it should be done. Should it be a decal? Should it be impressed in the plastic itself? I've seen that debate rolling on, but you've got to remember that this kit is 34 quid for a 1/72 scale.
So yeah, about $40.
Yeah. So on the pricey end, allegedly it comes with a book, which is so last year. Coins from Airfix is where it's at now, baby. I've got the collection. I've had every single one they've done. You know, I've got a proper display case and everything for it. But £34, you know, I think that's a lot of money.
I reckon it's probably that, Moss, because that's about what the others are. If you get an Academy one, it's about that. The Tamiya one, £36 you can get it for, but RRP is 40. So I reckon they priced it for the market rather than actually what it costs.
Yeah.
Well, if it has got, if the Revell one has got RAM tape, it'll be, it's going to be cartograph. It's going to be thin. So,
Yeah. But so the Eurofighter is £100 with the book, isn't it? So but for £34,
that's a lot of money for that kit. That is a lot of money for that kit.
It is, isn't it?
But that's Revell in a nutshell again, isn't it? They do these, they do some really nice stuff, but they do some just crazy, wacky things that you just think, what are they thinking of?
I mean, you know from last time that we brought up that Eurofighter book combo that I'm always here to like dump on that kit because that is an insane kit that has no justification to exist. And I'm very excited to buy it for £20 in like 2 years' time.
Yeah, because I mean they're selling the 1/32 scale twin seat F-18, which is a huge. I mean, literally the box is like this. That's £45. It's like you can get 2 of those for the price of that 72nd scale Eurofighter. It just
and possibly you end up in hospital after building it because it's literally got corrections on every page with the instructions.
Which is why it's £45.
Yeah.
As I said, if you look at it, see, I was just going to go back to one of the comments that was raised before because I say, if you do want a question, ask a question, and we'll get it up to ask. It's like lots of releases, but how good are some of the re-releases? Are they all good, or should some be avoided at all costs? Well, we know that if you're looking at you've got to use Scalemates. As your Alamac, you have to use Alamac, isn't it? You have to use it because at the end of the day, that's you're going to see the truth on Scalemates because you cannot hide ages of tools if you go looking. And I recommend when I do my inbox reviews, I always mention the scalemates.com as my guide on when they're released. It depends on what you're expecting. I think Airfix, and I'm going to use Airfix as an example with the vintage classics. That the tooling's old because it's branded is exactly what it says on the tin, and they price it. To be fair, they've not had to make it. They don't have to make a lot of money on these tools, do they now? Because basically the tool's already been paid for. So what they're making the money on should be the plastic. So Airfix set their prices, I think, very keen. I think the cheapest vintage classic is £6.99. And the later ones are around about the £14 mark. So you've got to look at that. And so some of these vintage classics will be tooled before 1996 or 2006. I think that's the 2006 is the cutoff. So you can get hoodwinked with Revell with some of their kits, unfortunately. And also the beauty with Scalemates is seeing who else has released it, because they may say we've only released this 5 times, but AMT and Monogram and whatever has released them as well. So that tooling's being used for a run for that company. You see what I mean? But you have to judge for yourself on whether it's good or bad or not.
To play devil's advocate on that, I don't think, and I'll get shut down for this, I don't think there's any kit that's unbuildable. Doesn't matter the manufacturer, doesn't matter how old it is.
He's not. We're going to send him a Mr. Craft. Somebody send him a Mr. Craft kit, all right?
I've built a Mr. Craft
Sea Harrier.
Or a Starfix kit.
Or any Starfix kit.
An NPC car kit, man.
What it comes down to is how much time and effort you want to put into making it a decent model.
It's true.
Yeah. Right.
It really does. And we live in such an age now. YouTube is such a great source of information. Like you were saying, Marsh, your unboxing videos. You can have a look at the kit before you buy it. There's a plethora of stuff on YouTube. Scalemates is a great tool. But I would say don't be put off because something's old. It can still be a great kit. It's an old kit, like the Walker Bulldog you've just finished, Mars.
Yeah.
When was that designed and tooled?
Yeah, but the price of it. But I'm talking about pricing, though, my friend. I'm not talking about what's in the kit. I'm just saying that sometimes Revell, like we saw with the first diorama set, it was a Matchbox Sherman, and it was up to 24 quid, 26 quid. When a brand new starter set from Airfix is about 14 to 19 quid. I think 19 is the most expensive. So,
but isn't that relative now? Everything's expensive now. Everything.
yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but you're not invested in the tooling, though. That's what I'm saying. That tooling has probably paid for itself 16 times over, and has probably paid the pensions of about 8 or 9 Revell CEOs. You know what I mean? So, I just think that you know, for the price of it, it's But
I think, like Alex said, they've priced that F-35 because that's what the market dictates. That's what their competitors are charging. So they're going to be there or thereabouts on it.
Yeah.
Mark, let Nigel in.
I can't. He's not showing up.
Is he not?
No, I think we're at a maximum of 10. I think 10's our maximum.
Yeah, 10's the maximum on here.
10's the maximum. Apologies, Nigel. 10's the maximum. I thought it was 12, but we'll sort something out next week. But yeah, yeah. I look at prices sometimes from Revell, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Can I make a point about Revell's possibility of vintage classics? Because there might be an issue with them.
What's that?
Well, if you look at all the Airfix vintage classics, they're all Airfix molds, aren't they? If you look at all the vintage classics Revell molds, would you really want to spend money on them? And all the stuff that is oldish that they could release as vintage classics probably aren't even their molds.
Well, that's it. It's only the tooling that they have if they've got it in stock. If you know what I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, but Airfix have released in the past other companies' models, but they've never done them as vintage classics.
I know that's right. No, that's not. Yeah, but that's not the argument. I'm talking about Airfix tooling. If you want to really cut the mustard, look at Hella. They're releasing the Jaguar and the Civic Jaguar, and that's actually an Airfix tooling. That's actually an Airfix tooling, and they're re-releasing it this year as their own.
Is that the old GR1 model?
Yeah, it's the first. It was released first by Airfix back in 2004, 2003.
Also, it's not the old tool one.
No, it's the one that was released. If you look on Scalemates, it was released first as an Airfix tooling, and somehow Airfix got it in the divorce. So,
in the divorce.
Sorry, yeah, Hella got it in the divorce because it was all under the Humbro flag.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's as I said, there's nothing more saying about vintage classics and whatever, but there isn't. I don't think Revell could do it, or there's not a timeline where they could say this month. So, but I'm just looking at is Revell pricing good for some of their kits? And I think you have to. We won't know until they come out, will we? And also how much time and effort they put into the kit, into the tooling to get them ready for a re-release, if you know what I mean. Go on, John.
Yeah, I'll say that the last two Revell kits that I bought, and they were Revell Germany.
Yeah.
One was the SD KFZ 251, the Stuka Zofus. It was a level 5 kit, and it. At the time I bought it, was very reasonable priced, and it was an excellent kit, probably the best 251 kit that I bought, and there's a billion of them, right? And then I bought that a transporter, was a level 4, level 5 kit transporter. It was 70 seconds ago, but the price was good, so. I'm here in the States. I think I bought them both from like Scale Hobbyist or something. But
yeah,
the price was acceptable, and the product was I wouldn't say exceptional, but very, very good. So
yeah. Somebody's saying here that Revell sold off most of their tooling to Atlantis back in the day anyway, so Nigel mentioned that the Meteor is £140, which is a joke, and we've still not seen that either, have we? That's not shown its head.
That's
So
a
that
lot.
isn't mentioned in the 2024 listings, or it's actually still numbered as 2023 on ScaleMates. So, but that's one of the things you find. Why you've got to promise these things, and I kind of think that's something that we see that more and more, that we're shown a kit, or we're shown, which is what Revell have done here. We've been told they're going to release this, and this, but have we seen any CAD detail? We haven't. All we've seen is box art of a picture of the real thing, and that kind of puts you on a little bit off guard, thinking, well, are we going to get it this year at 2024? Because I said and I'm saying, looking on ScaleMates, 90 odd reiterations of kits. That's that factory. That's nearly 2 a week, if you think about it. 2 a week. So
it makes me wonder whether it's just an effort to keep up with Airfix, to be honest, because whereas Airfix are putting out the quality, perhaps Revell are thinking, well, if we throw out a lot of kits, then we're doubling our chance of getting sales.
Yeah.
If we do it in a broad enough spectrum, then there's going to be something that appeals to everybody somewhere along that line. So,
to be fair, though, I'm not sure they're looking at Airfix in that way, because if you look at their releases, I mean, they do a very broad release that actually Airfix can't compete with. They do a lot of 1/144 scale civilian aircraft, for instance. There's quite a lot of those being released this year. Some with new parts, some are just straight reissues. We're also doing 1/144 scale fighters and stuff, which again, Airfix doesn't really participate in that. They do go big, as we mentioned at the beginning, into franchises. They had the whole James Bond stuff last year. Star Wars has been an enduring one.
Star Trek.
Yep, Star Trek. They've had tie-ins with games, and again, they've got World of Warcraft this year. So they do have this sort of broad range. I think they're just looking for what are the market opportunities. We're not going to go head to head with, Airfix and Tamiya and stuff. We're going to get these, I think they use ICM as kind of that bit of like, we can compete with some of this stuff by filling some holes with these ICM kits. But they are doing some nice tools as well that put into their, cars, 124th and 124th, 25th, whichever you want. But they've always been quite big in the car market, which is something that Airfix hasn't been until quite recently with the 143 stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much what Airfix has been doing has influenced Revell. They'll have their eye on it, but I'm not sure it's really influencing decisions. But they do. One thing is, I mean, that 96 releases or whatever it is, there are a lot of gift sets. So, and they often do it. They'll release a kit as a standard one, and then they'll also do a gift set at the same time.
Well, they've got the legendary Saturn V flat pack.
Yeah. But you got to remember that Revell don't just do model stuff. They're heavily into the RC market, into the drones now. I've done a few of their 3D puzzles just for the kick, because they've been a couple of quid at Audi in the past, if you know what I mean, or Lidl, and I picked them up. So they have got their fingers in a lot of pies in that respect. Whereas Airfix are quite clever, where they are under the brand of Hornby. So you've got the train side, the Scale Electric side. That's right. Revell do Carrera, sorry, for the slots. And they've got but Revell's got it under one big brand. Airfix has split it up, and I suppose they're budgeted in their certain areas on how well they do the previous year. But then, when you're working under that, there are those who are going to be looking over on what the scale model side can do. It does work because we see it with Tamiya, or Tamiya, whatever you want to call it. They don't just do scale model kits; they do radial control heavily.
They do walking ducks.
Walking ducks. Yeah. So, but I always say that it's like, one with all what Revell's doing, again, Have they? They haven't released any armor, have they? This year, new tooled. They did it last year, did they, or the year before that? So are they concentrating on winged? You
I
see
think
what
the
I
only
mean?
thing they have is a 1/72nd scale Leopard. They've got the 2 A7V, which has new parts, but they've got nothing brand new tooled. No.
No.
Yeah.
I think there was a new Jagdpanzer last
Which is-
year.
Was there not a Sparwagen with new parts attached to it?
That was a 2023 release. This is the whole new or new parts piece. If it doesn't have new as well as the new parts, then
Yeah,
it's
right.
not.
Yeah, I've got you.
Wayne Welly's just said quickly, Revell does what's it called? I can't find the comment now. Where is it? He said that they do advent calendars of kits. Can I just say I like the idea? I've got one here. I've got the tractor here as an advent calendar. It's just a kit and you get the parts out, but you can't build the kit as you go. It doesn't work like that. You can only build it on the 24th when you finally get the wheels out, if you know what I mean. They've just shoved it all in different holes and then you break it open and on the 25th of December then you can start to build it. It's a nice idea, but it's not well thought out.
That shows you it's a marketing thing and not a modeling.
It is a marketing
thing.
thing. The instructions are, if you want to do, if you go through the instructions, the first bit you get is the front wheel and you get a pair of side cutters. You know what I mean? And then next day you get the paint, and another day you get a brush, another day you get a paint, then you get a little bit of sprue. It doesn't work like that. It's a bit gimmicky, but
I mean, if they were to do something like kind of like the like the companies that like send you like your model parts per month and then you build them up, you know what I mean? I'm blanking on the one that's popular.
Artworks.
Yeah, if it was something like that, right? Like on the first day you get step 1's parts, and on the second day you get step 2's parts, and you just make it a 25-step model, so that way on Christmas morning you have it done. I would think that would be the way you would do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Makes
price
more
for that
sense
would make
to me.
it
Maybe I'm
ridiculously expensive, wouldn't it? Just from the postage alone, I would imagine.
No. You buy like an advent calendar, like it's the box of it, and so everything is there. When you open up the box to get the calendar out, you get the instruction booklet, and then I don't know. It feels like that would make way more sense than mixing everything up.
there it is. That's what it is. You can see all the doors there.
Yeah,
And I think the instructions are day 16.
like,
You know what I mean?
the instructions should be day 1,
That's it.
and then you get excited. Day 2, you get the first couple pieces, and
That's right. I think the instructions were like, hang on. This is on day, what day is that one? Day 6. Oh, you get your tweezers. You know what I mean? So that's how it works. It's
To answer Nigel's question that just popped up, all the Lego Advent calendars that I've had do the build day by day, so it would follow the logical way. So yeah,
I feel like someone had a really good idea of that Advent calendar, and then got to the deadline point and really fucking phoned it in and just went, "Yeah, that'll do. We'll just shove it in random boxes," because they clearly
we got to ship
gave
it. We
up.
got to ship it. Go.
It's the same way that Maserati build cars. It's just like, it is okay.
Yeah.
Imagine
Some Ferrari engines.
Russell, just so that you know about the history of Airfix quick builds, this is the situation. This is what I was told from the horse's mouth, that they got into a deal with Lego to create realistic models using the Lego system. And then as they were into production, Lego pulled out, literally. So there was never going to be a baby at the end of it. So they said, well, we've got the tool in here. Let's just carry on. And that's what they did. So they brought out
the Lego.
Yeah. So Lego, and to be fair, I'm going to be honest. When I build a quick build, and I give these quick builds out to all my friends, okay, they make the best Secret Santa gifts you can ever. I'm being serious here, because a lot of them don't want to build a kit with the glue and the plastic, the glue and the paint. but you get a realistic looking model. When you build a Lego model, it's like looking at Minecraft, isn't it? You know, it's all block, but you get nice curves and everything. So that's what happened. That Lego pulled out. This is what I was told allegedly, was that they pulled out, but they already had the tools together and away they went. So there you go. That's the story behind that. So
they didn't like the concept of them that they would be doing war.
That was always I heard that rumor, but I've never had that confirmed, to be honest, James.
Yeah,
I've never had that
don't
confirmed.
Lego have a policy regarding war machines that they will never...
they won't do anything. They won't do anything modern war.
But then they'll do a
That's why
Death
you got
Star
stuff
that
like
killed our
Kobe.
planet. What's all that about then?
Yeah.
They did and they charge you £1,000 for the privilege. It killed Princess Leia's home planet.
But that's not a modern conflict. That was a long time ago in a galaxy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that was before the episodes went in order, wasn't it? When it was episode 4.
They can also have like Lego Voldemort, who literally was just like proxy Nazis. So like very weird choices.
Yeah. You know.
Well, that thing about the Lego doing modern warfare, it sort of like came to head when they were going to release a Technic version of the Osprey, and they pulled out. They withdrew it at the very last minute. Some people got their advanced copies of the kit. Other people didn't get it.
I just can't buy that they wouldn't do that as modern warfare. I tell you what, mate, if there was a gang coming around our house now trying to pillage in my house, the first thing I'd do is chuck a bucket load of Lego right on my front doorstep. They're never going to get through that, are they? You know what I mean? It kills when you step on that stuff, you know? So, but yeah, as I said, yeah, that's the reason why they pulled out, and that was it. So they carried on. And to be fair, I think it's a good brand, Quick Build. I advise to anyone, if you go into a Secret Santa for your or you've got like a works do and you've got to do give each other little presents, if somebody in the room likes fast cars and high performance cars, get them a McLaren in a Quick Build. They will love it. And when they build it, I've gone to my friends' houses, they've got them on the fireplaces and stuff because they've built it. Just save the stickers on.
Even outside of adults, like my little one, she's done a number of models, both airfix and non-airfix. She's done dinosaurs, she's done quick builds, she's done non-quick builds. And her quick build kits that she's done, she plays with them. She will take them apart and she will put them back together and then take them apart and then put them back together. And and so every so often she'll be like, Daddy, can we build another model? If I say no, she'll go hit her quick build, take it apart, and put it back. So they are very solid kits, and the fact that they can withstand the disassembly and reassembly, that does say something about the quality of the plastic. It really does.
Yeah.
I know at least 3 people, adults, in the last 12 months that when I've posted stuff on my own personal Facebook page, I'd love to build a model. I've directed them to a quick build kit from Airfix.
Yeah.
They built it. They love the process. And now they're building like 35th scale Tamiya armor and 48 scale aircraft. And that's 3 people in 12 months that have never picked up a kit before. So they do work. They do work.
They do work. I totally buy that. Also, saying about quick build, did you when I was at Scale Model World, they've got a BF 109 there, haven't they? Or was it an ME 109? I go before I get slated, all right. A 109. They had a 109 in their own version of a quick build, like a Lego set. But fuck it out, I think it was nigh on the and it was on the rich side.
80 odd quid, wasn't it?
No, it was on the rich side of 30 odd quid.
48 was it?
The quick build.
Yeah, for about 48 quid, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Something like that.
Yeah. So yeah. There's Lego's Lego in it, but we're going back. We're going back to Revell because we're trying to keep on track with them.
Yep.
Is there any go into the chat, into the panel? If you're on the chat, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Is there any kit that they're releasing that you think, wow, I'm going to buy that this year? Because there's 2 that I'm going to get. I'll tell you one of them. One of them's a tractor, the snap kit tractor. Because I think those snap kits are pretty good from them. I do enjoy building. I did the Ford Ranger, I think I did, and they went together. Well, you can spray them up, you can treat them like a normal model. You just don't need as much. I do use glue on them, obviously, but you don't need to. But that tractor is something that I'm really keen on having, because I've driven one, I've been in one. So I don't know why they went down that route, because I think, you know, it would have been nice to have had it as a bog standard grey plastic kit, but a snap kit's just as good. So that's one that has got my attention. Anybody else got any in their minds?
I am planning on getting those Stranger Things kits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
about
with
you,
Lexi.
Scully?
I'm with the Blown and Boff, to be honest. That's about it.
Well, the 222.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think kind of it's not really a secret that I like German aircraft and armor anyway. So
Mm.
Yeah. The 112 speeder bike, I'm looking forward to. I think you know, Star Wars models. Well, to Luke's point, you know, they're great beds for weathering. You can do all kinds of stuff with Star Wars stuff, and that 1/12 scale, you know, there'll be some scope there to put some interesting detail on.
And it's Star Wars. It's hard to say no to Star Wars.
Yeah,
I am surprised though, considering some of I've got some Revell Star Wars stuff in my stash, and they're all easy builds, if you know what I mean. I'm surprised he didn't go down that route with that speeder, because
I tell you what, they're so good.
Yeah,
It's like they're all different scales, which is a shame. So you'll have like 154th, 157th, whatever. But last year, I love Star Wars, but I'd never built a Star Wars model. And I saw one of their snow speeders. I think it's like 158 scale or something.
Yeah.
On Amazon, it was like £7. I was like, well, it doesn't matter, does it? That's the price of a coffee, really. So I bought it, put it together, put it on a base, loved it. I'm actually building 2 of them now in a diorama for someone else. It's their birthday. They love Star Wars. And they're such great kits. So to Alex's point, the scope on that sort of stuff is huge. So I'll be getting the pod racer, the bike, definitely. And because I'm a sadist, I'll be getting the 144 set they're releasing with the Tornado and the Herc, I think's in it. In 144, because I think that would make a great diorama if you spend the time with the kids.
Yeah.
And going back to, you know, Luke mentioned submarines before, the 144 scale the type, I think it's a type 9C. I'm still looking forward to that. I think that'll make a nice diorama. It's a manageable size, because they do a 72nd scale one, which is massive.
Yeah, it's too big. Isn't it?
Yeah, whereas 144 scale, you know, you can do some interesting weathering, because they rusted to hell, and that'll be quite a nice one. I'm also looking forward to the new get my teeth in the new Lamborghini, the Revell, whatever it is that I can't say. And also they're reissuing the Countach, which is kind of, you know, my childhood dream car. So I'll probably pick one of those up.
Before the comment fully disappears, I would like to highlight. So Paulman Pick says that the Bandai Star Wars kits are superb. I have a few, but I would like to point out that there is a nice little Revell symbol on all of them. They are all of the Bandai Star Wars kits are done in some capacity with Revell. So
interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. John Ashley Smith says, I did a Revell Easy Build ARC 170 that came in a foil pouch package. Yeah, because when I went to Hobbycraft 2 years ago, I bought 2 of them on the they had like a 30% off sale on all of their kits. I got 2 of them for about £8 each, I think it was, and they went together really well.
Good.
Yeah,
really good.
Really good. Well, Bandai, yeah. But then Bandai don't sell shit. So I don't think they would allow Revell to put their name on something shit, would they?
No, yeah, exactly. And I was actually having this conversation in one of my Discords earlier today about how, and I talked about it a little bit at the beginning here, that Bandai really does go out of their way to get a lot of licenses and then turn around and do them, you know, great. But they don't like as you said, like they don't do them bad, but they also are kind of limited on when they do them. So the fact that they're tying in with Revell means that there is something to be said about Revell Star Wars kits. You know, that there is going to be that connection. Just speaks in and of itself some quality that if you're questionable about Revell, consider that.
So maybe that's what it is. And according to Hurricane Hobbies here, Revell has rest of the world distribution of the Bandai kits. They're nothing to do with the tooling. I get that. I do. So yeah. But
because here in the US, Bluefin distributes all of the Bandai kits through Bandai's own stuff. So it's not it might be some rest of world, but it's not all of rest of world. At least here US and in Japan, all the Bandai kits are still released by Bandai, so it's not under Revell. It is released through Bluefin. So
yeah. Okay, fair enough. Bandai, because Gundam sell more plastic than any other kit makers minus Tamiya combined. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me. I've got Bandai. I've got some old Bandai I want to start building as well. I've got like a couple of BMW bikes from Bandai from 1973. I want to get out and have a little look at.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'll put them somewhere. It's
you've shown us those, Moss.
What's that? Sorry,
you've shown us those. The 148, haven't they? Motorbike.
Yeah, I was just trying to see what I've done with them. I put them somewhere. They're somewhere around here. But yeah. I acquired them somehow, with a mask on and a knife, but I got them. It's up there somewhere. Yeah. Oh yeah, German sidecar BMW R75 by Bandai. So that's an old kit. After the show, I'll show you all. I'll get it down.
Rare kit. Now you try and get a hold of one of them. No, that's rare.
They're worth money because I sell anything, me.
Yeah, I think they probably are worth a few.
I know Bandai also did they did a couple of the old Kamen Rider bikes in connection with Tamiya. I think they're released under Tamiya, but they have it's similar to that, but rather than it being Bandai and Revell, it's Tamiya Bandai. But I've been wanting to get my hands on those. They're from 70, I want to say it's 79. 78, something like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned Tamiya there.
Got an INVOICE tank from Bandai in their stash somewhere. Drop me an email.
But you mentioned Tamiya there, Fenris. What's interesting to me as well is that Revell are releasing a 48 scale Dornier DO335. The only people that have ever tooled that are Tamiya.
Yeah.
So I presume it's a Tamiya tooling, as it's a reissue. It's just down as new, not new with new parts or anything. And I don't think Revell have typically reissued Tamiya kits before. So again, interesting. They do seem to have a really good department at reaching out to other companies and getting these relationships.
Yeah.
So
well, if they've got that distribution, because remember there's Revell Germany and Revell America, isn't there? Revell USA. So I presume that there's some sort of link there.
So I would imagine because they've got the two sort of headquarters, if you like, Revell Germany, Revell USA, their distribution network must be immense.
Well, so what it was, they were originally one company that then had two headquarters. One I don't remember which one got sold from the initial one, but essentially they did actually become two completely legal separate entities, not having a similar ownership. They built their own networks throughout the years. And then there's been times where they've been both bought out by companies. There's been times that only one or the other has been bought out. And my current understanding, and this may have changed, I think Alex may be able to correct me on this, or anybody really, but I think currently Revell Germany has recently bought out Revell USA, so they do now fully hold all Revell again.
Yeah,
but it's only been in the last 2 or 3 years that Revell has been fully reunited under one true banner. It's the longest time they were officially separate.
And that true one banner is an investment company, so it's not actually.
Yeah. But I mean that's the true one banner is actually being under the same investment company as opposed to being under two different investment companies.
As a retailer, Alex, how are they to deal with?
Revell are the easiest company to deal with. They have the best terms and the best margins. So when you see Revell in every shop and even not model shops, there's a reason for that. So I think the business side is pretty good. On the flip side of that, and I've said this before, Airfix, who are one of my favorite companies in terms of making models, what they're doing and stuff, is the worst to deal with. So and then all of the others kind of fit in somewhere in between. But Revell are really easy
had
to deal with.
dealings with Games Workshop?
Thankfully not.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, they're brutal. Yeah, to retail independent
Games Workshop store, don't.
No, they're too demanding because they require certain floor space and stuff, and then if you're successful, they'll just put a Warhammer shop in your location. So
yeah, so I play Warhammer 40k, but I play at an independent gaming center. So it's basically like a converted warehouse, and at the front of the warehouse is the shop, basically, and they carry all the paint ranges, but they carry a massive stock of Games Workshop stuff, as well as like Star Wars Legion and various other game systems. And speaking to the guy that owns that, he was like, they are the worst company to deal with from a business point of view. Their products are great, but from a business point of view, he has headaches dealing with them.
Yeah.
And you're right. That's why you don't apparently Amazon. You don't see much Warhammer on Amazon from other distributors or anything. It's all directly from Games Workshop now, isn't it? So, yeah, I can see that being an issue. Anyway, Sully, you be quiet tonight. I see you disappeared. Have you got any thoughts on the Revell kit? Anything that you fancy? He's making his cup of tea now, isn't he?
He's gone to
I'm
the
going to
toilet.
get some tea and Bickies.
He's caught short.
Or he's gone to
A brewing and Bicky.
more weathering on that gannet that he's built, the bastard, honestly. And everybody now, just put your gannets away. Sully's done it. You know what I mean? That's it.
Man.
Done,
I'll never put a gannet because I don't know that I could ever.
Nigel, Lexi's gone, apparently. Thanks for coming on tonight, Lexi. Really appreciate your input again.
Jump
So Nigel wants to pop in. He can pop in now. So I said
I'm grilling Alex a little bit because it interests me about the retailer's standpoint. Am I correct in saying, Alex, that you are not necessarily sort of profit focused with your store? So you wouldn't just stock Revell because the margin's good. It's kits that you would recommend.
Yeah, so I have limited Revell stock. So the stuff that sells really well with Revell is their accessories, the glue. I sold out. I've got to reorder again. And they do some, they expand the ranges of what I'm able to do. So Star Wars stuff, Star Trek stuff, all the kind of space and sci-fi stuff. They got some nice boats like the the PT-160 or whatever it was they did, the fast boat they did last year. So stuff like that. And but yeah, as I said, I went through the list and there's a lot that I've got in red. Are just like, I'll never order any of this.
But that's good, isn't it? So to go back to that question that was in the chat earlier about, how do I know it's a good kit if it's an old tool or whatever? If you've got a store like yours, go and speak to the people in the shop.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you.
Yeah, but this was the point we made last week.
Yeah.
About the shopping
Moving and what's not.
Yeah, you have to be able to add value.
And talk to the man is really important.
Yeah.
Because, if you are just profit oriented, your customers are going to know that after the first couple of kits they buy, and you think, well, this is a pile of junk. I'm not going to go back to that shop or not going to trust that guy again. So you're not adding that value. But yeah, if you actually do add that value, then people will come back and people will trust what you say. And for me as, a retailer, but just as a modeler, those are the best conversations, right? I love it when we've had those discussions and people go away and I ask when they come back, how did you get on? And they've enjoyed something and they want to do their next kit. And, that's one of the best bits of the job. It's not like a job then. It's just like talking with your friends about models.
Yeah. That must be a horrible job. I can't imagine something that's so awful as that.
Having to talk to people, or
Well, no, I mean getting paid to do something you love. That must be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for when he had to deal with that flood and
Oh yeah, that was
turning it from
that's fair.
a gambler's nest into a model shop.
Yeah, all it has to do now is so I had a really good day on Saturday. It only has to do that every single day, and it will be viable.
I get that.
Start opening up to the druids.
We started this show with 995 subs. I've now got 989. So I've lost 6 subs just from being on this bloody show.
I lost 2.
Oh, did we not warn you, Tam?
Okay,
That happens
man.
every time. Yeah,
Every time.
Is it really? Oh my! Oh my!
we use this to trim viewers.
So
Nigel, come on. It's not Hollywood Squares, man.
Hollywood Squares, yeah.
Yeah, you remember? Hollywood Squares were the
I'm
Brady.
a 0. There you go. That's the first one, 0.
It's okay, man.
Just on the flip side of all this, with all that's going on in the world, I was under the impression that Revell were releasing Zvezda kits. I didn't see any Zvezda in the mix this time, only ICM.
No.
So I was just wondering, because I'm just trying to. There was a lot of airliners that were.
I was just going to say that some of their airliners not Zvezda.
Yeah. So but then I think there'd be a conflict of interest if they were molding ICM tooling. Well, I would like to know, really. I'd love to get ICM on here and just discuss, how their marketing strategy goes when it comes to releasing a kit like they did with that boat last year, which I've built, and it's actually a very nice kit. It's 144, and so there are some really tiny bits I didn't even bother with. I just thought, sod this, you know what I mean? You're not going to see it, are you? But the idea of them releasing a tooling and within 12 months putting it in a blue box, surely would that lower or would that gain for them to do that? They weren't successful. We kind of think of it, whether they weren't successful as an ICM box, will they be more successful in a Revell box and still get the monies? I don't know.
I think it's probably the fact that they have their bite at the cherry as their ICM distribution. And then while they're building that up, after a year or so, they can go and say, well, okay, Revell, you can take this. They probably have a bulk deal, so they can clear some of their stock, their older stock, and get some cash up front. Revell get a good deal and can put them at competitive prices, so it works both ways. I imagine that's kind of how it's.
It says here this one here is made in the UK in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering whether they were selling the plastic to Revell, or have they taken the tool out of the Ukraine to make them in? Because I believe Revell have their own factory, don't they?
There are YouTube channels where they are absolutely Russian based, and they say in their, you click on them or whatever, they're in the US, they're in the Ukraine, they're in Belarus, whatever. So you don't know.
You don't know. But they have to they have to put they have to put where the plastic's from, don't they? So for instance, when Airfix do a starter set, it says made in India and the UK, because the plastic's India, but the paint is made in the UK.
A lot of Revell kits say made in Poland. I think they have a tooling factory there.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a Revell boxing of an ICM kit. It'd be interesting to see what that says on it.
Nigel just said ICM sell the plastic to Revell. Okay, fair enough. Which is what because Airfix have done that in the past. Their TSR2 ended up in Japan, or in Japan as a specialist boxing, and all they did was sell the plastic, and the other company added the decals and the instructions. So
you got those weird manga ones, didn't you?
The AN225 is Zvezda. What is that a release from Revell this year? That's not a release this year, is it?
No.
I think it's in their catalogue.
It's in their catalogue, is it?
But it's not a new release.
44 scale one, I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Revell boxings of ICM state made in the Ukraine. Fair enough. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? That is a good thing.
Yeah.
So that means that they haven't gone to they haven't moved the tooling out of the country, so the money is staying in the Ukraine sort of thing. So people in jobs and that, isn't it? Mind you, how you get to work in that sort of world is it's quite frightening, isn't it? So
I think most of that crap is happening in the eastern Ukraine, anyways. So
yeah, I get that.
As far as I know, IBM are based in Lviv, which is quite close to the Polish border, and so quite away from the front lines anyway. So they're quite away from Kiev as well, which is pretty much, I think, the farthest east place that's getting hit by Russian missiles. I think everywhere a bit further east than that is not doing too badly on that front. So
Dutch Dave has said that I have an ICM Revell Marder. It says made in the Ukraine. So yeah, it's good. It's good that then they are still building and they're bringing out the stuff that they need to. Sully's back now. Sully, any Revell kits you want to buy this year from their range launch?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
We're waiting all that time for him to get back with the tea and bickies, and that was the answer.
Silver bows.
If you could shorten your answers a bit.
Nah.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm actually terrible at keeping up with releases. I pay very little attention to it, to be honest with you. I just look for, when I come to the kit, I just look for what I want, the subject, and then just see. I usually try and find if Edold or Tammy have got it generally first, and then just see who else has got it after that. So I don't really necessarily always care for new announcements that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I get that. I'm kind of.
Do you know what I mean? I just, yeah.
So
I mean, I don't get wrong.
It's been in the shed for a few years.
That it's kind of where they've made it a yearly thing, and it's everybody knows that in the first, second, or third week of January you're getting your Airfix announcement. Whereas the other companies don't. There's no fix like, oh, the new Revell catalogue will come out in this week, in this month. There's no set thing with the Atelieri category or the catalogue or the Tamiya catalogue. So the fact that it's a fixed thing with Airfix means everybody knows when it is and they look for it. Whereas the rest thing, like I'm with Sully, I don't generally look out for any of the release catalogues or anything like that. And as they appear on the market, they appear on the market. But the Airfix thing, because I know it happens in the early weeks of January, is the one I do look out for. So I think that may be down to the other makers because they don't make as much of an attempt to sort of interact with the people who buy the kits in the same way that Airfix does, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's the only reason I know Airfix release stuff, because like it says, they're the ones that are more obvious about it. And also Moz fills the entire group chat with bloody Airfix stuff anyway. So it's a bit difficult not to keep up with Airfix with Moz.
I've said I'd love to do Airfix's product range next year. Do the video with Dale. That would be a bit of a laugh, wouldn't it? Like, me coming on, because you'll be there wondering if there's a bear cat in the range, wouldn't there? You get to the end, and I'll just say, we got a new Spitfire coming. You know what I mean? So
I think the difference with Revell and Atelier Mini Art and stuff is that Airfix are very good at doing direct to consumer, whereas the other companies, the reason that we've had all these announcements, Talieris was last week as well, is because of the Nuremberg Toy Fair. They use that, which is a big European, toy event, which a lot of model companies go to, and they use that as kind of their calendar date. So it's much more European based, and it's much more designed to go to retailers. So as kind of more a trade show rather than a direct to customer, direct to model as kind of express things. Because they've got a much broader audience, like you've said, Moss, about, they have the 3D puzzles, they have, RC and all these other bits and bobs. So they are going to a kind of a whole toy kind of thing rather than just that specific model section.
But is that because they're in Germany? Because they're not in the UK? In Germany,
I think it's because they're a European kind of company. Yeah.
That they did that. If you're in Germany, you probably end up joining like a Revell club or something like that, and they give you better deals. And as I say, every week I get an email from Revell with 20% off or 30% off one of their models, and I have noticed that when I have bought occasionally a Revell like that Strike Eagle, it came from English distribution centre. So, which is what Airfix need to do, and I think they are doing now with America. They are pushing. I've seen on LinkedIn. I've seen quite a few posts from they've been abroad in the Orient, at their trade shows out there. I think it was Shanghai or somewhere like that. I think it was.
They went to the Japanese one, didn't they?
They went to the Japanese one and had a big stall out, saying, so whether but to be fair, really for them, if they're shipping from India, they would need to split them and say, well, this container's going to Australia, this was going to America, this was going to the UK. That would be cheaper for them to do it that way. But whether they create enough kits to do that, I don't know. Well, these are business decisions that we're not partial to, because they're not going to give away their secrets, are they, on that?
But I mean, I think Hornby need to sort out some of their internal infrastructure at home before. Can you imagine the customer care center dealing with international distribution hubs as well? I mean, at Christmas they could barely deal with the UK, so I think they need to strengthen that a bit before they think about, we'll have a US and an Asia hub, because I can't imagine what delays that would impose.
Yeah. And so it's not easy to ship to Europe now. Now we've signed up for Brexit. So, but yeah, it's
one thing you do notice about Revell when you go out to Germany is all the department stores where they have their model department. It's all Revell. There's no Tamiya. There's no Italieri. Nothing. It's all Revell. All Revell kits.
Yeah. So I have built it. I've built 2. Well, I built 3 actually from Hobby Boss. They're all right. That's why I got to tell them that.
Following your introduction of me to the Bearcat, I'd never heard of the Bearcat. Never heard of it.
Piss off. Come on.
I may last week have ordered the Hobby Boss Bearcat. Which I shall build in your honor, Moss.
Yeah, thank you. And just look, have a go with it. It's a lovely kit. It's a bit soft. I think there's a lot more that can be done with it. But yeah, it's I've done their easy assembly version, which is one of if you put paints with that, would be a bloody good starter set. To be fair, really good starter set.
I'll throw some blue paint at it, see what happens.
Yeah, I said, but yeah, it's the Bearcat. Oh dear, the Hawk Bearcat. Yeah, I've got 2 of them up there. They've been reboxed in a Signum. Revell is the Hawk one as well. It's never been loved as much as it should be. So the Trumpet 132nd is on my list to do as well. So the monogram one is the Hawk one. It's a Signum one. So yeah, it's the 172nd one. You put the what's it called? The fuselage together. Then you feed the wings through the gap. It's let's not go there.
I don't know what you mean.
So we'll talk about anyway. Other positives, I think, as I said from the very beginning, I think to go out with a bang like this with a lot of kits, and like we said, we don't hear from many other manufacturers, unfortunately, in this realm. Hella did it last year, but they haven't done anything this year. But did any of their new toolings that they said they were going to bring out in 2023 hit the shelves?
No.
Was it the E2C didn't come out, did it? Was it E2C? That didn't come out.
No.
With the dome on top, that never came out, did it? The Citra never came out. I don't even think the diorama sheets, for the road came out either. And that, how hard is that to engineer? A road. We're going to bring our road. I didn't even bring that out. It just, it was a lot of waffle with not much cream in the middle of it. Do you know what I mean? Which is a shame.
Lots of local syrup in it, but
Yeah, the Hawkeye.
Alex and I are working on the same kit, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
did either of you shake the box?
The Tamiya 148 F15C. Yeah.
Ouch.
There you go, buddy.
I haven't opened mine yet, but
Oh man.
I haven't even bought it yet. Well, I did buy one. I need to add to my collection. I did buy this one to add to my collection. Don't even have to paint it. Put it together.
I got one of those Spitfires, Moss. I picked it up.
Yeah.
It was in a whole bunch of other stuff that came.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's interesting.
Oh, Tam's got one as well. Yep.
I think
Probably Boss F15E. It's a very nice kit.
Yeah.
Cheap and cheerful.
Yeah.
I built the
The
hatching
Hawkeye
out
is still in progress, but like I said, it was a lot of waffle. We've not seen anything come from it. But then again, it was brought out by Models 2B or something like that. Is it called?
Go 2B.
Glow 2B, wasn't it? Yeah. Which is a shame.
Alex, thank you. That so Alex sent me as a sort of a bonus kit the Hobby Boss P51D. That was a great kit. I have finished it, and I'm going to put up a little video of it. It's a great kit. It's like a
It's a great kit. Can confirm.
Mojo quick build. You can do it as good or as quick as you want. So thank you, Alex. I appreciate
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Right. Any questions in the chat? Have you got any questions for us on the panel? We're open. It's 9:30. We've got half an hour to go. Anyone got any questions? Put question in the front, and we'll try and answer it the best we can.
I think Crazy Loacher just painted the fact that Fenris isn't building a Corsair, a Spitfire, or a Mustang.
Oh no. Or a dinosaur.
Dinosaur there in almost a year now.
Dinosaur.
Like he knows him, isn't
there. That's what we want.
Keep an eye on my channel during this month, and that might change.
That'll make a good diorama. The F-15 in the mouth of a Tamiya dinosaur. Come on. You know what I mean? Standing on a packet of Chewits. That would really go down well. You remember that advert?
Wow.
Do you remember that advert years ago?
Yeah. Showing your age now,
was
Moss.
the best. What was it again? What's the monster called? It's a monster in it in China. They have it's like a Tyrannosaurus. Godzilla. With his packet of Chewits underneath.
This should be coming up in the next month or so, and it will be finished up. So, yeah.
It looks like my ex-wife. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's my mother-in-law. Sorry.
Here we go, folks. If there was one Revell kit you would recommend, what would it be?
The McLaren 570S. That's the one that I built that was really good.
Yeah.
So the one I did that was really good was the BF110 148 BF110 G6. That was a great kit.
You done that on a video, didn't you?
No. I did that years and years ago, long before I started a YouTube channel. When I was young, good looking, and had hair.
What was the one that you built on your channel then? I thought it was a Revell kit.
I did the JU126, and I've done lots of 109s on stream. But I haven't really done any videos of it. I try not to flood the channel with lots of German stuff because I don't want people to say, oh, he's a Nazi, but likes lots of German stuff. So I try to kind of alternate it, even though, 70% of the stuff I've got is German armor or Luftwaffe stuff. So,
no.
You know the way people think as well as I do. If you do too much Luftwaffe stuff, then you're automatically a Nazi. So,
What about you, Luke? Have you built a Revell kit? Anyone that you
Yeah,
fancy?
I've had several. I think if I was going to pick one to recommend, I would say the Foosh truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good shout.
That's a great kit.
Yeah.
If you want to go military, I'd say their 35th scale boxer.
Yeah.
That's a good kit as well.
What about you, John? John Parker. What Revell kit would you build?
I've never built a bad Revell tooled 72nd scale armor kit that's actually Revell tooled. They're all really good.
That's a fair shout.
In particular, the T90, the Russian T90 tank, is excellent.
Rubber band tracks.
Do you know any of the 72nd scale Luftwaffe aircraft that they did around the late 90s, early 2000s? So the HE-177, they did the Focke-Wulf 200 Condor, the BV-222. They did a whole bunch of Luftwaffe 46 stuff. All of those toolings were really nice and really unusual subjects that people hadn't really done. I mean, the Condor was an aircraft I love, and the only one really was the old Revell one, which was terrible. And then they made the new one. And it was just like, this is fantastic. So any of those tools.
Yeah. Well, you, James.
Probably I'd say the Avro Shackleton, the new one, the newest
Oh,
one.
you built that one, have you?
The MR3.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Not the frog one. Definitely not the frog one.
No.
But the because it literally needs a ton of weight in it, but it looks stunning.
What about you, John Alec? Revell kit that you would want to build or
Yeah,
would recommend?
man. So that I don't know the year, but it's the SDKFZ 251 Stuka Zafu. So it has the 3 mortars on each side.
Yeah.
Mortar launch system on it.
Oh my god, that was a great kit. I loved it. It's got a prominent place in my display cabinet. That was so. If you build 251s, it's a great kit. Yeah.
What scale was that, John?
1/35. Yeah.
It was 35th. Yeah.
What about you, Sully? Any kit that you recommend?
No.
Fair enough.
No, that's not true.
People be thinking we've got a bet on tonight that Sully can only answer yes or no.
Sully, you sound like my wife when I ask her where she wants to go for dinner.
I've got part there's two. I've got a bit of a cold. No, to be fair, the space will be an issue in a way with these two. The 32nd scale Mark. I want to say a Mark II Spitfire. I think it's a Mark II. That was a good one. And 48 scale 110, which also was a good. That was a good build actually.
I'm with you.
All it is. Again, it's the same with the sort of the issue I've had with Airfix for a number of years. They just don't necessarily do anything I'm interested in. That's usually my issue with them. I'm not saying they're bad, do you know what I mean? It's just that they just don't do stuff I'm overly interested in. That's why I says I usually look at Tammy or Radar because they usually do something I'm more into.
Well, I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend a kit which is a little bit out there, but I thoroughly enjoyed building it because I've never built one before, and that was the Kenworth Aerodyne.
Oh,
yeah.
Honestly, I know it's a bit it is a bit of a snap kit, but you can do what you want with this, and the decals went down absolutely beautifully over the rivets. I've
You
thoroughly
can't fool me.
enjoyed-
That's Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I know. There's another one.
right.
Is it Bear Boy or something, or some sort of? I know it's a monogram tooling, but it's all came in the Revell box, and it went together with and it come out really, really nice. If I go to a scale model show, I just whack this one in just to see if I get any takers for it. But it came up absolutely beautifully, and it took me 3 days work. Still got some bits to do on it, but it came up. The dashboard's nice, the bedding in the back's nice, and it went together really well. The only thing that annoyed me more than anything was that it is a red kit, the red plastic. So when they've chromed it up,
Revell, yeah.
you got to cut where the chrome is. You end up like, I don't know. Well, to be fair, you don't see it.
It's awful.
You can't. I got a chrome pen and just went over it when I sanded it back. But yeah, that was the only downside was it's all pre-chromed, which. But other than that, it was a lovely build, and I think I only paid about 15, 16 quid for it.
That's not bad, yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good. What's that? A good topic for another stream: display cabinets and shelves. Yeah, tell me about it. I don't have them in the house really. I've got them up in the library on show, and I got them in boxes. So yeah. The problem is that she tells me that
Dennis has got them up there and all.
Yeah.
In my office.
Somebody asked a question. Has Airfix released the B1B yet? Now, I got that last few months back, so I've been wanting to build that Rockwell B1B. It's there, and that's on my bench. That's got to be soon. I'm going to start building that. The tooling, I've been told, is in Margate, but they can't move it because it's so heavy. Their forklift can't even move. It's such a big tooling.
What?
They can't move the tooling. The forklift can't lift it apparently. So I don't think that's heading to India soon. But it'd be nice if they did. Yeah, I know it's monogram, mate, but I just for me it was the last load that's has been to get it in this country is Revell. So but yeah, it's still in Margate, that tool, and it's massive, and their forklift can't lift it. So whether that ends up in India, I don't know, but it'll be good. It would be good if they did that. Fortunately, I saw one. This is what got me was if you saw my Substack, I wrote about it, and it was somebody wanted 100 quid for it, and I had about 90 in my pocket. I didn't buy it. Then when I went to Scale Model World, somebody offered it to me for 50, and I just ripped his hand off for it. Because you go on eBay now, they're serious money, but the box is massive. It's a big bird, to be fair.
Yeah.
That B1B Rockwell is massive. So, yeah.
It's the same with the E3, isn't it? The Airfix E3 Century. That's a lot of money on eBay too.
But there's a lot of talk about the SAM missile set. Now they brought out the Bloodhound. Why don't they bring out the SAM missile? But they can't. Because the tooling was destroyed.
Yeah.
Destroyed. So that's why if you see them on eBay now, they're about 100 quid.
Yeah.
But they say it's destroyed because we were told for years they won't release that bloody bomb bug, and they bloody well did, didn't they? So, but I've been told on good authority that the tooling is actually properly missing. So unless it gets reboxed in a hella boxing in the future, I don't know. So, yeah, definitely.
Divorce offering.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's shit. If Hella saw, that, but then again, that gives every onus on Airfix to retool a Jaguar, doesn't it? If Hella's now releasing their old version, it gives them every
Humbrol re-released their Jaguar Green. Remember? It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Some folks are trying to do that Jaguar, and they're like, "Oh man, racing green, it's gone." Did they solve that problem?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, it's the only way you can do one of those Jaguars is in that racing green. So.
Yeah, apparently it didn't sell well, so it was just consolidated when they had to reformulate to get rid of Miko. Why? It's just weird, bizarre choice.
I did a video on it because that was what got me when they released the new Jaguar as a starter set. I was building the 1/32 scale starter set version. I wanted to, and the challenge for me was a starter set challenge, but I could only use aerosol cans. And I looked everywhere trying to find the Jaguar British Racing Green in the aerosol can, and I was told it was they removed it. But what they did also tell was they were removing it from every part of their range, the British Racing Green. And I said, well, that's a bit fucking stupid, isn't it? Because you're just releasing a starter set with British Racing Green.
Yeah.
Then I get an email, oh, we have got the British Racing Green coming back in our acrylic pot range. Oh yeah, in their dropper bottles. But it made me laugh, that did. I thought, you know, Airfix releasing a Jaguar in British Racing Green, and you're not even going to sell the paint? Give over.
Yeah.
We're playing that. Apparently, with Facebook, Hella had some tooling problems, slow deliveries of the modes from the tooling makers. Well, it's all made in China. All the best toolers are in China now, aren't they? That's what I've been told. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you went around Florida looking for me, and there was one company that had it. And then when one company sent me some, and it wasn't even, it was called Keen 2XL, which is a company. I'm trying to think of the company that Airfix use now for their paints. What was the company called they use for their paints? What's the company that Airfix use for their paints? Oh, what's it called?
How long ago?
No, they're still using them now. They still make their
they-
paints with them now. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah. They have other brands, and I believe that the aerosol can is now that color paint is rebranded for the domestic market called Keen 2XL. It's called. That's where you can get it from now.
Oh, what?
Oh, I can't remember what the company's called now.
He's having a senior moment.
Oh, I can't think what is their data sheet? What was the Humbrol data sheet?
The poo-poo planter.
Humbrol paint data sheet. Here we go. I'll find it now. Right, where is it? It'll load up on me now and tell me what the company is. Rustins. Rustins make Humbrol paint.
Mm.
And they got a company called Keen. I've got one here. Which apparently is a company that Rustins make paint for. So that's British Racing Green, that is. So if you need to find Humbrol British Racing Green in an aerosol can, apparently that's it, made by Rustins. So yeah, there you are. Some information for you. Dulux paint, Humbrol paints. Yeah. First world problems, Moz. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was loads of it going on. We just couldn't get the British Racing Green. We're in the middle of doing a build for this challenge, and in the end, I did get one from a company in Blackpool. A model shop in Blackpool had a couple of cans left over, so I bought the whole lot, and then just did that build on it. So, but anyway, so positivity tonight about Revell. I think it's nice to see. I don't think any company's going to be worried. I've heard that their trade stand in Germany was, the model show in Germany was quite full of Revell products. But then, as I said, they've now brought out their own Lightning, the F-35. Is it an A or a B? It's an A, isn't it?
No.
A. So that will obviously be retooled at some point for a B and then a C. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes this year. It depends on, 2004 is going to be a busy year. The Talleries brought their kits out, haven't they? They've brought out a few kits.
Yeah.
Yep.
ICM have brought theirs out. Revell's now mentioned it. Mini Art, they've done what they've always done. They just announce kits when they're ready to go to market.
Mm.
Nothing from Academy yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
Nothing from Hobby Boss or Trumpeter.
No, those will be with the Chinese New Year.
That'll be the end of February, will it?
Yeah. We always do those a bit later.
So, but it would be nice if they did do what's it called? Their own announcement. But then again, I don't think announcements are going to be the thing for the future for Airfix. I think they're just going to release kits ready to go to market during the year to add to it. So, but as I said, it'd be nice. The year's just started, so there's going to be other tooling that's going to come out and hit us, and hopefully we'll be here to discuss it when we see it. But yeah, any other points on Revell? Anybody got any final thoughts on Revell? Anyone?
No.
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 Nope.
No. Well, fair enough then. I've got nothing more to add, really. A bit quiet. Yeah, Rustin's it's called. It's Rustin's paint. If you go and get any of the safety data sheets for Humbrol paint, there's a big Rustin's symbol on the data sheet. So that's how. And Rustin's make all sorts. So Rustin's has been an iconic British paint brand for years. Remember creosote? Remember creosote in your fence in the summer?
Yeah.
Ella. Yeah, you can't. I remember using creosote when I used to work on the football pitches to burn the white lines in during the season. You used to put creosote on the grass to kill it, and then you would then paint over that. I'd leave it a couple of days for it to kill the grass, and then you would put the white line around on the football pitch.
I'm surprised you're still here, Moz, after doing that.
Well, this is what I'm saying about that. You're talking about Miko in enamel paint. You know, all these old scale modelers who were brought up on enamel paint, almost drinking the stuff. They're still here, and then they go and ban it, and then it causes everyone a nightmare, doesn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, it's about. I think Matt from Model Minutes has also said this. It's about scale of risk, and you know, Miko is one component that was changed from a. I think it was from an irritant to a potential carcinogen under EC classification. Therefore, you would have to literally drink the stuff, or like be exposed to it so much to increase your risk of cancer by, even if you say you doubled a specific cancer risk, that would be like from 0.0001 to 0.00002. You're still more likely to get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a bit of an overreaction, definitely.
I mean, I won't bore you with my day job, but most substances, including production pharmaceuticals, if you have enough of it, it will fuck you up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, I can almost guarantee that
Alex said, it's all about scale. It's how much you ingest or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I use lacquers all the time. I do wear a respirator. I've got a spray booth and all that stuff. But I also vape. The chances are the vaping and the 20 years of smoking before I started vaping has probably done more damage than the tiny amount of lacquer paint that on my paint.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I can almost guarantee you that most people here probably ingest poison daily, because caffeine is actually it's a really nasty substance. If you actually get pure chemical caffeine, it's a poison.
No poison whatsoever.
Well, I've basically done sheet metal work, and I used to grind titanium.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I remember being at college back in 1996, and they were banning MDF in America. They didn't ban it over here because it was a cheap product, but in America they banned it because the glue that they used, when you would cut it, would turn into a fine powder, inhale it, and you end up with bollock cancer, apparently, and they tried to ban it. Yeah.
Have you seen the Tamiya jar? It says, known to cause cancer in California. And I thought, well, it's okay, I'm not in California.
Yeah.
Penrith, you're fucked. Well, I'm okay.
Well, you
can't take that label with any seriousness because you so much as look at a thing and it says that over here. So, you know.
Well, and yet you have Mountain Dew.
Barbecue.
Yeah. But isn't it bizarre? So they banned MDF because of the glue, and yet some of the shit they spray on their crops. Do you know what I mean? That them people eat.
You can still use paraquat.
And they used Agent Orange, didn't they?
Yeah. Honestly, it's always something to scare you, isn't it? You know, it's like, well, how Edwina Curry survived that back in the day.
I think it was a special relationship with John Major.
That's what it was, yeah. There were the wrong eggs being fertilized somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Dude, that guy was
the mental images.
Honestly, I remember it. We've had so many scares, you know. But it's true. It's like when Donald Trump was tweeting, why why is it when people drink Diet Coke, they're still fat? You know what I mean?
Because they have it with a Big Mac
That
meal.
would be mean.
Yeah. I'll have a Big Mac. I'll have a Big Mac's large fries and an extra bacon double cheeseburger, but I'll have Diet Fanta.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
saying
did
no.
it. So, you know when the UK brought in the sugar tax,
Yeah.
everyone was losing their minds, weren't they?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was actually at work. And I went into McDonald's to get lunch, you had to pay extra. I don't even think they were selling like full fat Coke at the
That's
time.
right,
It was
yeah.
very new. So I said, well, okay then. So I'll have a Big Mac meal, but I'll have a coffee with 16 sugars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yes, that's fine, but you can't have a full fat Coke. Well,
Yeah.
it makes no sense at all.
This is what I mean. It's a bit of a nanny state, isn't it? We can't do this, we
Absolutely.
can't do that, and it's like, if I do agree, if you, I as an ex-smoker, I know I vape and stuff, but sometimes I think, you know, if you do get lung cancer, should you be paying extra for your treatment because you chose?
Oh, don't get me
to take-
started. Don't get me
No,
started on
no,
this.
You know?
don't go there, buddy.
Just saying. I just thought I'd mention it. You know, I'm a
It's like people. I have prostate cancer, and
yeah.
I
You can't
spent
prove
the
how you
last
got it.
30 years enjoying myself sexually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Ross,
don't go
I've
there.
got a good spray can here. It's got a skull and crossbones on it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You know,
Contains lead paint.
No,
it's like really. I was wondering.
everything
you know,
gives you cancer, man.
It's like this sounds really stupid, but this is the God of truth. I've seen the word coronavirus somewhere before. When I didn't have a mobile phone, I used to read the back of the toilet duck, and it would always mention coronavirus. It will kill coronavirus on the back of a toilet duck.
But
You know?
Coronavirus is a type, though, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Like
So
flus
that's
are
why it's
coronavirus.
called-
Rhinovirus is a coronavirus. Coronavirus is just saying like poultry.
It's an
or-
umbrella term.
Yeah,
it's a catch-all term.
yeah.
So
I'm
that's
just
why it
saying,
was
you know.
called COVID-19 because it was the 19th variant.
No,
Variant.
no, it wasn't that it was the 19th variant. It was that it was discovered in
2019.
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah, there are way more than 19 coronaviruses out there.
SARS, that's COVID. They're all the
Yeah.
same. They're all the same.
Yeah. COVID as a code is relatively common. Yeah, it.
Yeah, COVID-19 actually refers to the disease, not the virus.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm just saying. It was just, I'm just saying it's just one of those. We can, you know, the stuff that we use in our model hobby, you know, it's.
Yeah.
But in anything, whether you worked on a car to, you know, to do some work on filling in a few dents and stuff like that, there's all these chemicals, and at the end of the day, I think you just got to look at risk and reward sometimes, haven't you? You know what I mean? And if you know the risk, you know, because I'm going to be honest with you, my made up extractor fan system there, I just switched that on over there. I'm working on here on the bench, but I can assure you that when I'm spraying on my bench, I can see the dust particles being pulled into there and around. I don't really wear a mask anymore because I just assume that's going to do the job. But when I'm spraying, I don't spray more than 2 or 3 minutes. Well, think about it. It's very rarely I'm spraying something a long time for that tank to empty and starting again. So it must be 2 or 3 minutes worth of spraying before I stop. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it says here. Hugh Gordon just said quite rightly, time for a ciggy and a whiskey coffee. Anyway, gents, thank you all for joining us tonight on this little walk through Revell. I'm glad I didn't have to bring up the catalogue because the catalogue's 164 pages long. There's loads in there. If you want to buy Revell kits, there's plenty of scale model shops that you can walk into and buy them. We've got a few here. And, you know, if it's something, at the end of the day, if your company that you normally build don't build it, you would have to go to a different manufacturer. So when it comes to an F-35, look at the reviews online from these guys who do unboxing videos and make your choice. If money's an issue, go cheap. If you feel that what you've seen in the box relates to you, buy that kit. There's no right or wrong answer to what, who makes the kit. It depends on what you want to do with it at the end of the day. So good luck with Revell. I think the competition is good in the trade. I really do. I think that if we get more of this, as I said, it would just be nice if each of them did their own release date and we could just talk it through. But anyways, that's it from me. Any other questions? Anyone want to say? No. Luke, somebody just said, are you from Black Rifle Model Works? Yes, Luke is the man.
I'm not the man, but I'm one of.
It says exactly what it says on the screen.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll come back on again as many times as he wants. He's a member of Airfix and Chill now, so when he's not working, he can pop on and have a chat with us.
Let Luke speak.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and I will be back. Shifts allowing. And me and Sully are sitting down on Wednesday.
Yes. Got to mention that. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Nice.
So,
And that reminds me, can you all go over to Hobby Barn? He's released his latest video today. It's a sad video. He's now been sent home from hospital, and he's on a permanent oxygen machine, and he's under hospice care. So if you could go over to his channel, I think somebody could put it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments as well. Go over there and wish him well. Send him your love. Send him your prayers. Just think of him and his family at this time, please. And on that note, we're going to say good night. Thanks all for joining us, and we'll see you next Monday. Have a good one. Cheers all, and bye-bye.